What's up? Thank you for joining me. My name is Justice, and I'm your host of MS Will Lose, News and Views podcast. And on this episode, I'm going to be talking about how do you ask for help? That's right. How do you ask for help after being diagnosed with something like multiple sclerosis, a disease that they tell you that you got, that they tell you that has no cure? How do you on earth begin to ask for help? The first thing you got to even understand is what kind of help do you need? What kind of help will you need? I know for myself, it was a very big struggle in the beginning, and it still is a struggle. It's a struggle that I think I'll live with for the rest of my life because of the way I was raised, the way I was conditioned. You know, I was raised that you don't ask for help. If it's things that you need, you want, and you go get those things yourself. You don't ask people for things. Now, help can be looked at in several different ways. You know, some people need help, financially. Some people need help mentally, physically. Help can be, however you choose to look at help. But like I said, for me, all I knew was that if I asked somebody for help, it in turn mean that I couldn't do it myself. So I was that kind of person. I was the kind of person that, if you say catch the public transportation and say it costs you $1.50 to get on the bus, if I needed 50 cents, I would walk. I would not ask anyone for 50 cents. So that's just how tedious it would get for me when it came to asking people for help. When it came to how I was raised by a strong black woman who's no longer here with us today. But that's one of the reasons why I feel that I'm able to deal with multiple sclerosis like I deal with multiple sclerosis today, was one, because of how I was raised by a strong, independent woman, that raised me with that. Like I say, if you can't get it yourself, then you don't need it. So as I would grow older and as I would, become my own man, I in turn live by these values that, you don't ask people for help. You don't ask people for things that you can't get yourself. So when I was first diagnosed with multiple sclerosis and help was something that I needed, I didn't know how to ask for it, and I didn't know how to receive it. I didn't know how to take it. When people reached out, to help me, I would snap back or, tell them I don't need it. Now, these was things that I needed to do. Like, take for example, physical therapists. My physical therapist would tell me, Mr. Barron, go home. I want you to get someone to help you with these exercises. It seemed like you got some good, support systems, a good support group around you, because it was always somebody showing up with me at physical therapists. It was always somebody there. I never went by myself, so they automatically assumed that I had the support that I needed, and I did. At this point in the beginning, my brother-in-law had came down from South Carolina, and he became, my caregiver, if you had to say, when my wife wasn't there. And, getting into the word caregiver and, how I look at that word and what that word means to me, we'll discuss that on another episode. But anyway, just sticking in line with what everybody know, when we talk about a caregiver, my brother-in-law would be the first one that assumed that role more than my wife, due to the fact that he would help me to my appointments. He would take me to get medicine, or he would get them, like you said, if you heard from previous episodes, I stayed in the house probably the first 3 years after being diagnosed. So my brother-in-law would go get my medicine, would go to the store for me, would do these kind of things. Now, I didn't look at these as me asking him for help, because me and him had made an understanding that you come down and help me get better with MS, and I'll help him with some of the things that he needed help for. So, right there, I'm already bartering something to where I'm not just getting some, I'm also giving something to someone. But as we would go on and I would get more off into my multiple sclerosis diagnosis, I was noticing that I wasn't doing the things that I needed to do, because they in turn required me to ask someone else to give me a hand. If that was me trying to walk, if that was me trying to stretch, if that was me trying to do any form of exercise or do anything to keep me motivated, I shied away from that, because at this point in my multiple sclerosis diagnosis, I needed help. And like I told you earlier, I did not know how to ask for help. That was one of the things that I struggled with then, and I still struggle with today, and that is, how do I ask for help? And like I say, if that's something that you struggling with, you must come to understand that asking for help doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you, less of who you were. It just makes you right now in a situation where you need a helping hand to get these things done. And if you do these things with this helping hand that someone is there to help you with, then you can in turn not need a hand down the road. So that's what I have learned now, is that if I would have took the helping hand that I needed, say 2 years ago, then maybe now I wouldn't be in the situation that I am in, with barely being able to move my limbs or barely being able to walk around, because I wasn't doing the exercises and doing the things that I needed to do when I should have been doing them. So what I want you to know and understand is that if you are struggling with asking for help, it is okay to ask for help. You are not begging. You are not lesser than who you were before your diagnosis with multiple sclerosis. What I have learned in life is that everybody at some point in time needs some type of helping hand. Now, it's depending on what kind of helping hand it is, and it depends on who you're asking for help, and in turn, what are you giving for that help? So what I am asking any of my MS soldiers, survivors, warriors out there is that if you feel that you're in need of a helping hand, please reach out and ask for that helping hand. Me not asking for a helping hand over the years has led to me falling. Luckily, I have not fell to the point to where I have broken anything, but I could have. So what I am telling you is that if you need help walking, you ask for help walking. If you need help stretching, you ask somebody to help you stretch, because stretching is something that you must do each and every day to maintain the flexibility that MS will take from you. So once again, I want you to ask for help. If you feel that you're in a situation where you need help, I want you to reach out to your support group. I want you to reach out to someone who has multiple sclerosis that may be able to direct you in the right direction for you to receive the type of help that you need. Asking for help does not make you weak. Remember that you are stronger than you think. My name is Justice. I am your host of MS Will Lose News and Views podcast, and I challenge you to ask for help. I challenge you to give help, because I believe in one thing, is that each one teach one, and that we're in this together. So until next time, my MS soldiers out there, stay strong, keep moving, and remember, MS will lose. Peace.